All right. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, guys. Good morning. Let's get this started. Yeah, if you're in the chat, give me a good morning. Yep, always helps the channel if you guys are active in the chat. All right, so what do we got here? Yeah, overnight. Today might be a volatile day. We'll see. The reason being is because we got this kind of volatility right here this morning, and we're starting to have some movement now. We do have a two-legged pullback coming up right here. It's not quite at the open yet, but very interesting because you have a breakdown here, failed breakdown of this really large channel here. And it breaks down, failed breakdown, comes back up. Also this channel, failed breakdown, comes back up, comes back to the top channel. I will say this is no longer valid since I actually broke beneath here. So we had a measure move here overnight. As you can see from this pivot to this pivot. And we go to the lowest point after that. And we almost get there actually. We miss about one point and then reverses sharply. Good morning, guys. Good morning. Wow. From the Philippines. What time is in the Philippines right now? So what we got here now is this channel in play. Yeah, so welcome to the channel. Welcome to my small account journey. And you might say 5K is not a small account. If you're trading the ES, it's actually, yeah, a pretty small account for the ES. $500 margins for every contract on the ES. And so 5,000, 5K count on ES is actually still pretty risky, you know, because the way I trade is a 1-to-4 risk ratio. And so every trade I will lose actually $200, which is about 4% of the capital. And that's pretty risky. So, but I'm doing this to have a small journey, small account journey with everyone here. To show that it can be done, I would not recommend to do this. You know, trade at your own risk. Do not copy my trades. And yeah, I mean, I think to be honest, having a 5K account when you start off is a very bad idea. And but hopefully, for anyone watching, you know, this could be helpful, or at the very least, entertaining. Just like to trade with the community here. It's 9:27 p.m. in the Philippines. Actually, that's not bad, you know. Actually, wouldn't mind trading those hours. To trade a little bit in the evening when everyone's, you know, kind of done for the evening. Kevin Fennel, Philippines. Yep. So thanks for the time. Kevin Fennel asks, where did I go last week? Last week, very busy, just taking a break. It was Easter, and also I was trying to figure out what to do for this next series and setting up this stream, and so I was just doing a lot of things, and Yeah, so that's where I was. All right, so what we got here? What we got here? We actually have a nice two-leg pullback on the top of this. We overshot the channel. This could be a spike in channel right here in of itself. Too close to resistance here, bouncing off resistance. I'm not interested in this trade. Market will open in about 1 minute. But I can't trap this trade either just because it's too far above the 20 EMA in my opinion. But this is a difficult long to take in my opinion. If it does trigger here. So we're at the top of this channel. Yeah, so last week I was busy just getting this stuff set up. Again, if you don't know, check out Trades by Matt. I told him I'll give him a shout out. Helped me a little bit in terms of setting up this stream, what programs to use, some advice as well. So I'd like to, send him some love. So if you get a chance, check out his channel. He doesn't trade price action like we do here. If you're new to this channel, we trade the two-legged pullback. And the two-legged pullback is a pattern that looks like this. We got two pullbacks down, and then on the second entry, we like to enter long. So for those who are brand new, this is a two-legged pullback. It's a movement that looks like this. Call it a zigzag movement, call it ABC pattern. But essentially it's two pushes down or two pushes up. It could look like this as well. And on the next reversal, we like to enter. And the reason why we like to look for this setup is because it's such a highly probable trade. Whenever the market makes two attempts at something, at the second attempt, it always feels way more confident. Sorry, I have my eyes right here on this chart. And on this trap, it could give us a nice scalp here on the reversal. But we do have some support here by the trading range indicator. I'm watching right now, sorry, so I'm a little distracted. I'm thinking we're gonna have a kind of volatile day today, but we'll see. Hey, if you're a member and you got a new emoticon, I added another emoticon. This is the rest in peace emoticon. Thoughts and prayers to you for those who take bad trades. If you remember, shoot up some emoticons, your favorite emoticon, that'd be amazing. Currently watching right now, watching the market. Okay, so you see this. It actually trapped to the downside, but look where I found support. Right on 20 EMA, right on the bottom of this trading range created by the trading range indicator. These indicators you can find on the official website at www.twoleggedpullback.com. Currently choppy, cannot make a trade here. Currently at resistance, bouncing off resistance. I'm thinking this is going down. We overshot. Most likely we'll overshoot the other side. And this is what I'm thinking. But it's too choppy right now. Cannot make a trade. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 overlapping bars. And it's very difficult to, and you see this trading range very, very tight. It's about 2-point trading range. Not enough to really make a scalp with stop orders. Trading range. Yeah. So the setups yesterday were very little just because it's choppy. And in general, choppy markets, it's hard to find any type of setup unless you're like an advanced trader and you can trade limit orders. And I think that's way more advanced than doing the two-legged pullback. The whole idea of the two-legged pullback is simple. It's easy to understand. It's a two-legged pullback. It's just two pushes down to a certain support or resistance key level, and you like to take the reversal on good signal bars. And that's basically the setup that we have. If you want to know more information about the setup, you can check out the description, and there's links, a playlist on going into more details on how to count legs, how to identify two-legged pullbacks. The trading range indicator is not free to download, actually. This trading range indicator finds trading ranges purely based on price action. All right, so we're breaking down. We made a perfect scalp so far. That's what this gold box is. That means this leg currently made exactly 5 ticks. So there might be some trap traders here. At 6 ticks, it makes, guess where it closed? Closed above the trading range indicator. Close up in it. Let me zoom in. Still too choppy to make a trade here. So you could have potentially trapped traders here with the golden box. So I call these perfect scalps. Why do I call it perfect scalps? Because it takes 5 ticks to make a scalp, a minimum scalp. You need 1 tick for the stop entry and 4 ticks for the point. And so at 5 ticks, it makes a perfect scalp. And so there might be some trap traders because you can only be filled based on when you place your order. And so if you place your order too late in the queue, then you could be potentially trapped here. These are dojis forming, long tails, long wicks. So those who went short there could be trapped unless you got in a retracement. And so I like to call 6 ticks an absolute scalp, because I know that those who scalped at, who are trying to scalp are out at 6 ticks. So the perfect scalp is marked by this gold box. You see how many overlapping bars are here? Even though this is a two-legged pullback right here, off the 20 EMA, it's quite dangerous because you have so many overlapping bars, and what the idea is that you're thinking overlapping bars will continue to overlap. And so even though this could make a point, there's a possibility it won't make a point. It makes a perfect scalp on the other side. It looks like it's going to make an absolute scalp. It looks like it's going to try to hit the top of the trading range, but we'll see. Still an absolute scalp. We got absolute scalp this way, absolute scalp this way. Too tight. It's too tight. You see how it's overlapping again? Because we're in this trading range. So again, these traders might be trapped on this side now. So you're getting trapped. Yes, all streams are delayed. You need a scoop. There it is, and sprinkles emoji. All right, I'll try to look for those and try to make some emojis. By the way, these emojis are all custom made, and so if you'd like to support the stream, I do this completely for free. But if you'd like to show your support, if this is helpful in any way, you'd like to show some love, you can become a member, $5 a month, and you also get access to the emoticons and also a two-legged pullback badge. As you can see, some of the members here, they have that two-legged pullback badge next to their name. See how we're just super tight in this trading range? This trading range also is again created by price action, and it's created automatically by the trading range indicator, and it's proving itself to be good, proving itself to be accurate at the moment. And the longer this goes like this, sideways, the more 50-50 it becomes. Irregardless of the previous trend, which is an uptrend, the longer this just goes sideways, there's about 50-50 chance to break either side. You can find any of these indicators. So there's a two-legged pullback indicator that counts all legs. That's all the numbers above and below, and it marks second entries with dark red, dark green numbers. And also these red and green lines that come across horizontally is the trading range indicator. And both of these indicators are based on price action. You can find them at www.twoleggedpullback.com. The URL is on the bottom right of your screen, or should be at least. By the way, let me know if the volumes are good, if my voice is too loud, too soft, if the music is too loud, too soft. Drinking some water. Trying to talk through these charts, man. Your throat gets so dry. I know, probably looks a little funny on the avatar. Looks like I'm just drinking nothing, but again, it hits the top of the trading range perfectly, bounces off of it. It could break through, but I think this trading range indicator is just I feel like after I made this trading range indicator, it's like what the institutions use for some reason. It just marks these trading ranges so perfectly. All right, thanks. Sounds good. By the way, if you're new to the channel, um, it helps a lot if you like any video. If you find it helpful, if you enjoy the content, of course, I don't want to force you to like anything if you don't like it. But if you do like it, it just helps to show your support by actually liking the video. I know it's like it feels weird to like videos for some people because it's like, okay, it's like YouTube, you kind of make it public or YouTube will know, a little bit more about you. But hey, YouTube already knows everything about you. Google already knows everything about you. So if you're worried about that, it's too late, my friend. Look exactly where we bounced off, and we have not closed above or below the trading range indicator yet. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. It got close, very close, got very close here. Has not closed above or below it yet. Do not copy my trades. I'm trading to 2K, yes. I am trading 2K, but in general, all tick charts look different. All tick charts will look different. Okay, we're coming down now. We're going to hit this key area now. This channel, this trend line. From this pivot to this pivot. And yeah, I mean, in a sense, almost everything has been completed to make a major trend reversal at yesterday's close. We could have made the high of the day already. Could be possible the high of the day is already in, but we'll see. We're going underneath the trading range indicator now. Finally breaking underneath it and closing underneath it. Closing underneath this trend line, overshooting from this side and also now overshooting on this side. As kind of was suspected or expected. Once you overshoot this side, most likely will overshoot this side. Now, will this be a failed breakdown? Who knows? We need more evidence here. I might be interested in a double top if it's a two-legged pullback, but we'll see. Yeah, there is updated version on the trading range indicator on the website actually. But because it's based on price action and every tick chart looks different, your trading range indicator could print something different than mine. That's kind of the thing about price action. If I was trading a 5-minute chart, our charts would probably look a lot more similar, but because of tick charts are based off every transaction done, every chart can look different because depending on your historical data or maybe even the clock on your computer, I've heard many things, but many things could be the reason why tick charts look different, even with the same broker or provider. Okay, we have broken down now. We have a bona fide break of trend on a downtrend. I'm going to adjust this line because it needs to be updated. Also, the top pivot needs to be updated as well, since we have a new pivot now. Alright, what are we trying to do? What do you guys think? Are we trying to break down or are we trying to go up? The zigzag indicate. Let me read some of your comments here. Yeah, so for those who are new, I'm doing a small account journey. I'm starting with 5K, and what's my goal? Well, my goal actually is to trade with you guys. That's my main goal here. I'm trading only one contract. It might sound like only one contract, but with a 5K account, one contract is actually it's actually too risky for even a 5K account, in my opinion. But yeah, I would say probably for every contract on the E-mini, you probably want about 10K, to trade safely. But with that being said, if you're a beginner, do not trade 10K. You will blow your account. You know, you have very high chance of blow your account. So start small, trade the MES. That's what I did personally. So you can see I made another trend here. And the 240 SMA is acting as a semi-support right now. The zigzag indicator can help you see zigzags and possibly two-legged pullbacks, but it does not tell you exactly two-legged pullbacks. It just basically shows you every single leg, every reversal, but there's a certain counting method used for two-legged pullbacks. So the zigzag does not account for that. It'll just show you basically every reversal. So whenever a candle breaks the previous extreme, then it will just show a zigzag, every zigzag. I started yesterday with this account. All right, so someone's prediction is that it will go down today. So on my chart, I have the 20 EMA, which is the solid blue line, and the 240 SMA, which is this dotted line. This line, red line up here, is last trading day's close, and the numbers above and below the bars is the two-legged pullback indicator, and the lines across are the trading range indicator. Let's clean this up. All right, thank you, Kevin Fennel, for becoming a panda. You have access to your new emoticons and also your badge, two-legged pullback badge. So thanks for supporting the channel. We don't have a setup at the moment. We could be breaking down, but typically you're expecting a retest of the highs, at least a double top of some sort. Good try. I do not have 100K in my account. Yep. Let me check the 10K. 10K is showing a double top here. But oh, 10K is also showing a nice two-legged pullback off the 20 EMA. Something like this. I would not take that two-legged pullback, but it's there. What time do I normally stream? I start to stream around 9 o'clock, 9 a.m. EST, and hopefully join in a little before open to set up my charts, just to acquaint myself with anyone in the chat. And yeah, I am not on Twitch. I believe if you're on Twitch, you cannot stream on YouTube as well, and so that's what I heard. So I am not on Twitch. So you're looking at this, and now you're seeing this, and you're wondering, is this a reversal or a bull flag? And that's the question of the hour. You know, will this simply just be a small pullback to be a bull flag for this trend up? Or is this starting to become a reversal? How do we know which one it will be? Well, there is a major trend reversal pattern that we look for. And it always begins with first a break of trend, which is what we have, the first event. There's 3 events. Break of trend, then retest of the high. So we're looking for a two-legged pullback of some sorts that look like this. It's going to be a retest of the high here. And then what we want to do, you could trade here if you're very convinced of reverse here. And you can do risk management to actually have a profitable strategy that way. But for me, I would like to find a two-legged pullback with a lower high. And this is a, in my opinion, a high probable trade if we can get this set up. So I would like to enter right here. So this is a two-legged pullback. For those who do not know what two-legged pullbacks are, it's essentially two pushes up. I'm going to be talking while the setups are setting up. There's no setup right now at the moment. And yeah, I'll be interested in this trade maybe around here. You know, it's close enough to be a double top. And also, it'll be on this downtrend. So I might be interested in going short here. But for those who do not know, a two-legged pullback is when there's two pushes up or down. So here's a two-legged pullback. Two pushes up. That's what we call a two-legged pullback. Or two pushes down. Typically there's some sort of trend like this prior to it. And the idea is that the original trend will resume. So you get this pullback, which is two legs. But it doesn't always have to actually be a trend like this. You can get a two-legged pullback also when you have, you know, if you're in a trading range, you actually will have something like this, and you can have a two-legged pullback like this at a trading range with no really previous trend. And so it just really depends. Really what you're trying to look for is two pushes up or down and at a key area such as support resistance, and you want to take that reversal. I am trading the E-mini, the ES futures. Some might ask, why do you trade futures? Well, that's because futures is the only way you can trade as a day trader. That means you can buy and sell stock or, you know, commodity on the same day with less than $25,000. If you're, you know, trading stocks or options, you have to have 25K account, which a lot of people don't have that kind of cash laying around. Sorry, drinking some water here. And so futures are actually a good way to have a small account and be able to day trade. You only need about $500 just to cover the margins. That's like the minimum for the E-mini. You need even less if you try the micros. You need a $50 margins for micros. So you can trade micros and get a lot of good experience with very little exposure. All right, I'm gonna get rid of this. It's kind of getting in the way. Was that enough to qualify as an overshoot? On the downside, if what you're asking, yes. Overshoot is just whenever if you have a channel, it goes above it, and then goes to the other side below it. So we have a major trend reversal setting up now, but what we need is this to actually come all the way up here. It needs to break above the previous candle's high, and then we can have a potential major trend reversal. And we could be going down all day today, or we could reverse and could trap traders and go all the way up. I do not know, but the pattern that is showing right now is the major trend reversal. But like all things, nothing's 100%. And so if you manage your risk correctly, you can make a profitable strategy out of this. But we're looking for a two-legged pullback. Yeah, so okay, someone shorted 41119. Okay, good. Well, good luck to you. For anyone that's in a position, good luck, good luck. All streams are delayed. I don't know how that's possible to day trade less than 25K and not hit the PDT rule, pattern day trader rule. Yep, so CKR Fitness is asking, is this Mac strategy? It's like a hybrid of Mac and Al Brooks, but basically the two-legged pullback is no one's strategy. It's been around since the beginning of stock charts because essentially two-legged pullbacks show human psychology, and there's just no way to get around two-legged pullbacks. So if there are no such thing as two-legged pullbacks, charts will literally look like this. This is what a chart look like. You would need pullbacks, you know? So you need breathing, you need selling, you need buying because there's both buyers and sellers. So we do have a potential two-legged pullback here. We do have this set up. This is a two-legged pullback. Major trend reversal, double top right here. Let's see if we get the reversal. Awesome, awesome. Hey man, give that man a money emoticon right there. Yep, this is Ninja Trader. Okay, so cash account I guess is different. So it's good to know. I guess you don't have to use margins, no margins. Well, I guess maybe that's one of the benefits of futures trading is because you can use margins. Every trade is leveraged in the E-mini. Okay, so we do have a good signal bar here. It's very tight though. I do not like how tight this two-legged pullback is right now. We could just be having an uptrend now. So you gotta account for this uptrend. It's a decent signal bar, the top of this trading range. Trading range is still in play, but as you can see, it's a double top right now. This reverses again. It's going higher and higher. By the way, there's no guarantee I might even get into a trade. It just depends on the setups, depends on what the market gives us. I'm looking for that 90, greater to 90% setup. I don't see one at the moment. All right, it's good to know. Thank you for the information. That's the beauty of community. You get to learn new things you do not know, helping each other, support each other. So, love the community. This is not the kind of bar you want to see on a reversal. I hope that makes sense. If you want to go short, that's not the bar you want to see, nor do you want to see this kind of choppy grind upwards. Actually, choppy grind upwards could be 50-50. It's showing that there's fighting for every bar. Every bull bar, there's a bear bar trying to fight it. How do you account for complex pullbacks? Well, as the name suggests, they are more complicated for sure. Complex pullbacks are essentially when there's two-leg pullbacks inside two-legged pullbacks, and so I have a two-legged pullback like this. But let's say within this two-legged pullback, there is another two-legged pullback. You see that there's a two-legged pullback here and also two-legged pullback here. And so you have complex two-legged pullbacks when there's two-legged pullbacks inside two-legged pullbacks. I just think you have to trade the chart that's in front of you, and if the complex two-legged pullback within the two-legged pullback doesn't fit your requirements or your setup, then don't take it. All right, so we got doji here. Still double top territory. Notice how it bounced off perfectly off the 240 SMA. And now we're reaching previous day's close. Who knows what will happen here? This could potentially be a bull flag. Something like this. It could make a measure move to this high, believe it or not. It could do this. I'll leave that there just for the future reference if we do start to break out here. If you're in the chat, if you like to support the stream, again, ask questions. I'll try to get to them whenever I'm not looking at the charts. I thought there might be a setup coming up here, so I was kind of focused on the charts right now. If you're a member, throw up your favorite emoticon. Do all strategies here work on the MES? Yeah, the price action strategies work on any instrument, any time frame, but there are a couple of things that do help. You typically want to have a time frame or tick frame that on average can make a you know 2 or 3 points, because you want to be able to scalp out. And if it's too small, like if your candles are too small, then then it's hard to scalp out, obviously. So I'll just say that. And also, high liquidity markets are better for price action, because the two-legged pullback uses mass psychology in its favor. And so, okay, so this is starting to break up now, as you see, this trap. So, thoughts and prayers for those who went short here. There's a reason why you don't go short there with dojis like this. So, thoughts and prayers to you. Rory Tate asks, if I was to open an NT account with minimum deposit of $400, how many contracts would be a good amount per trade? 0 for you if you're going to open a $400 account for the E-mini, because you can't trade the E-mini with $400. You need a $500 margin. But in general, as a beginner, if you want to know how many contracts to trade, you gotta trade your I don't care size. Especially if you're beginning. Even if you're not beginning, you gotta trade your I don't care size. For me right now with a 5K account, my one contract is my I don't care size. I lose $200 or I'll gain whatever amount of money per day, but my I don't care size is at the moment one contract. But if you have a very small account, like $1,000 account, you can trade the MES, which is basically $50 margins. And so for every point, you gain only $5, and even less with commissions. And so the idea is with trading MES is you're not trying to get rich. You're just trying to gain experience and become profitable. If you can be profitable in the MES, you can be profitable in the ES. Yeah, so yeah, thoughts and prayers for those who went short here. Seriously, these traps here are ridiculous. So as you see, these keep trapping up. Every trap here is more pain for shorts. The shorts are trying to, or the bears are trying to reverse every single bull bar here, and they're failing. Every trap is making them feel pain, and so that's why you see these spikes up every time. When you see a market that's overextended like this, and you're kind of like, how does it keep going up? Well, that's because the bears are in too much pain. Remember, for every trade, there's a bull and a bear. For every trade, there's someone going long and someone going short. And so that's every trade, And so there's potential for every trade for these spikes and traps. So I'm not really interested in going short at any moment right now. If I can get two-legged pullback back to the 20 EMA or this trend line I just created, then I potentially could look for a long here, but right now we're in an uptrend, and it's pretty clear in my opinion. Like, I think we are just, where did this come from? What is this thing? This could potentially be a resistance here, but I'm thinking this measure move that I marked a while back may be hit, as you can see. Again, the bears tried to reverse it, and guess what? More pain. And if this trap hits, it can rocket up. when you have so many bull bars like this, you do not ever want to short against this. Take a drink of water. This trap could trigger a quick movement to this high here, the overnight highs. Somebody ask, is this not an H4 failure? For those who are familiar with that setup, H4 failure is basically two-legged pullbacks in a row. You have A, B, C. That's one two-legged pullback, and you also have this one, A, B, C. And the idea is you want to reverse right here. You want to take this short, and you want to go short right here. That's an H4 failure setup, and we know there's an H4 failure because we have a 4 with a magenta box. And somebody asked, is this not an H4 failure? In terms of the setup, it is an H4 failure, but you got to look at the context. The context right now is that this is kind of floating in the middle of nowhere. This could make a point, sure, but you have to use any of these setups in the right context. Right now, if I took this H4 failure, it would be kind of arbitrary and risky in my opinion. And so right now, the H4 failure has already triggered right with these reversals. It might make a point, it might not, but in my opinion, it's more important to get to the context. It has to get to at least a double top here and bounce off of it. That's why I want to see. Right now, it could keep floating upwards to here. So it could trap up. Plus, you have, so many bull bars in a row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 non-bull bars, non-bear bars in a row. So again, for those who went short here, it could be a very risky trade. All right, Douglas Hill made a nice trade. Higher low and a fail second entry short. Cha-ching. That's exactly what this trade was. And if you had the balls to do this, then yeah, congrats. In my opinion, it was just right next to yesterday's last trading day's close, which yeah, which I didn't want to take, but it was a pretty good trade because typically you have this uptrend and then you're thinking resumption of the trend after a failed breakdown, resumption of trend. And so that even though this is H4 setup, it's struggling to get to that point. It's not even at one point yet. Sorry, I'm just reading this chart, so if you're asking questions, I might not get to it till later, or I might miss it completely depending on how many questions there are. To extend the channels, you just right click on any channel, go to and you'll see extend to right or something like that. There's like a extension option, and then make sure you save it as a default template if you want to always have the extension to the right. What's the next indicator going to be? Good question. I mean, most naturally it would be a trend line indicator, but boy, oh boy, that would be very difficult to make, in my opinion. I would have to do a lot of testing with that, and especially if I were ever to use it in my actual own trading. I don't make an indicator that I don't think will be useful for myself. If I personally would not use it, I would not make it, and so, or even sell it or whatever. I don't care about really selling any of my indicators. I sell them because I think it'll be helpful, and I find them helpful for myself, and so I like to give it out to whoever wants it. But also, it takes a lot of time and effort to make these indicators, so I like to, I don't think it's anything wrong to get paid for your hard work, and so. But trendline indicator possibly. Whatever indicator I do make will be based on some sort of price action. Okay, we're struggling again. And so for those who went short here are probably, you're kind of in a better position here. but you're still kind of disappointed. You're wondering why is it taking so long to scalp out. What instrument is this? This is the E-mini. I trade the E-mini exclusively. Again, check out trades by Matt. He has a different strategy than we do. He doesn't trade price action like we do. He trades something based on market profile, divergences on delta, I believe. And check out his channel. He helped me out to figure out some stuff on this stream, and so I told him I'll send some people over if people join this stream, and yeah, so make sure you check it out. Yeah, if you're new to the stream, all tick charts are different. Can I make an indicator that gives buy and sell signal? Man, oh man, that's by Tanya McKenzie. Making an indicator that gives you a buy and sell signal, I would never do, because I would feel way too responsible. I would say, you know, to be honest, this is a tool, right? This indicator is a tool. And I mentioned on the last stream, like any tool, right, it's only as good as the one wielding the tool. Such as if I give someone a hammer, you know, you don't expect them to build a house, right? You just don't expect the house to appear. You know, if I give someone this indicator, I don't expect them to be able to 10x their account, you know, or even trade the E-mini, right? The E-mini is the Super Bowl of all futures, in my opinion. And so, you know, it's a tool, and like any tool, it's just there to help you. But to give buy and sell signals, that's not really what I'm interested in. I want to give a tool for people to be able to use on their own, just because, for the obvious reasons, right? You know, I give a buy signal and someone buys it and they lose on the trade. I'll feel terrible. You know, that's I, yeah, that's just how it is. But you know, if you want to know, like, okay, well, just in general, like, what's a good buy and sell with the two-legged pullback? I mean, you can figure that stuff out using the two-legged pullback indicator. Dark green, dark red numbers near key entries, key areas. 12% up today, my man. My man, my man. Well played. You guys think this looks a little toppy here? Should I take this two-legged pullback? We're getting a mix of bull and bear bars now. If this makes a two-legged pullback here, I may be interested. %12 on your account. Here, I'll throw this emoticon out for you. Congrats. Uriel's asking if I trade the 1 to 4 risk reward. I do. I trade the 1 to 4 risk reward ratio. So many questions. There's way too many questions here right now. I'm looking for the setup. If this triggers this second pullback, I might be interested in going long here, but it's looking a little toppy to me. We'll see here. A little toppy and a little choppy. Why do I trade my 1 to 4 risk ratio? The explanation, the short answer is this. The math. Maths. It's all about math. The long answer is, could take me a while to explain. If I'm gonna go through a couple of these other questions just because that question could take so long. should you ever scalp out early? Yes, that's called skunking your trade. JX asked, should you scalp out early? And we call that skunking your trade. That's when you see some disappointing bars and you haven't made your scalp yet and you want to just get out. And yeah, that's a viable thing to do. However, in my opinion, it's not worth scalping in general unless you think you're gonna make 1 point. It's not worth scalping like 1 tick, 2 ticks. It's very hard to find a strategy that will account for that. But if you're planning to scalp out 1 point, but then you see some of the bars not looking the way you like them to, and you feel disappointed, then you can skunk your trade, sure. It's better to miss out on one scalp than potentially lose like double or triple your or quadruple like I would on your trade. Depends on your risk reward. How make money when moon? Just a funny question. Mech is asking how to make money if the market goes to the moon. So you see how choppy this is? So this two-legged pullback that triggers here has less of a chance. This is actually a two-legged pullback coming down to the downside. Less of a chance to make it. This is a lower high entry, lower high second entry. And some people might trade this, but look at how many bars there are going sideways. Most likely traders will get trapped out if they go short here, in my opinion. Look exactly where this wick ends, right at the top of this trading range, created by the trading range indicator. Oh man, these are good questions, man. You skunked a trade? All right, all right. Well, hopefully it'll be a good skunk. Do you ever skunk? All right, I got some member questions here. Okay, yeah, so you're a member, so I'm gonna try to answer your question. Do you ever skunk at -1 or 1.5 points? Sometimes I get it wrong and it's obvious at that point, but I never do close it there. That's more psychological thing. If you're like a professional trader, you probably would have the know-how to do that and be okay if it does all of a sudden reverse and your original plan does end up working out. Psychologically, it's very hard for me to do that. I have done it in the past, but I typically do not because I like for the trade to play out all the way for most of the time. Sometimes I do just change my original stop loss from 4 points to perhaps maybe 1 tick under signal bar, depending on how the chart develops. Look at this, just sideways, pure sideways movement, super choppy right now. But yeah, so I'm gonna answer Euro's question because he's a member here, and you guys can ask questions, but he's a member. I gotta give him some priority here. Thanks for supporting the channel, Uriel. So I'm gonna explain a little bit about this 1-to-4 risk reward ratio. In order to have a 90% probability, if you want a very high probability, naturally you need to have a bad risk reward. Anyone selling you a strategy that promotes low risk, high reward, and also high probability trades, that's when you get up and run. You do not want to buy into any strategy that promotes that or claims that. Low risk, high reward, and high probability trades do not exist in the market. If they did, then everyone would take them. What does exist in the market is if you have a high probability trade, you will always have a bad risk to reward ratio. And so hopefully that in itself makes sense. And it's all based on a trader's formula. The trader's equation is basically your win rate times your reward, uh, subtracted by your loss rate, multiplied by your risk, and whatever that equals, that is your edge. And so um, the market typically is a zero sum game. And so, okay, so those who went short here have potential trap right now. But even this trap, man, there's not enough room to the top of this trading range. It's ridiculous. The market's just way too sideways for me. So let me keep explaining this. The market pretty much is a zero sum game. But there are some strategies that have edge. If the edge is too high, that means you get up and run, because that's a scam. There can't be something with crazy edge, because it can't exist. The market will always find some equilibrium, especially a liquid market like the E-mini. And so, with that being said, when you have a 1 to 4 risk ratio and a 90% probability in your trades, you actually have an edge of about like 0.5, I believe. It's not an amazing edge, right? But that's a reasonable edge to have. And the idea about scalping is you're not making lotto hits. You're not winning the lottery on any trade. There might be strategies that do that. But, okay, so good job for those who went short here. Well, not yet. Perfect scalp. One more tick will make an absolute scalp. Struggling to make the absolute scalp at 6 ticks. But if you're a bear right now, you're probably pretty happy. Absolute scalp made. Very interesting. Okay, reversal bar being printed right now. Sorry, I see a two-legged pullback forming here. I'm not sure if I want to take this. Break of trend, break of 20 EMA. I need a lower high setup here. I need something different. This is not looking good. This is what, you know, this market has lost momentum, and so this two-legged pullback might fail here. And I might take this failure if it does fail. And so the 1 to 4 risk ratio has a 90% probability. So for instance, if I want to go short right here, but my risk, let's say my stop is just 1 tick above this signal bar, that is way too little risk for a 90% probability, right? You have a 1 point reward, but a 1.25 risk. The trader's formula does not allow that in the long term for that to work. You need to increase your risk in order to have the right probability at 90%. It won't, apparently it did work here, right? It popped up. I'm not sure what happened if it popped up first or went down first, but regardless, if you had it here and then you try to go short, that risk reward is too low for a 90% probability in the long term. And so this is why I use a 1 to 4 risk reward. Also, I'm not the only one who says this. Al Brooks is the one who says this. I got this from Al Brooks. And so Al Brooks explains it as well on his blog. And so if you look at his blog, he kind of explains the 1 to 4 risk. He doesn't say necessarily 1 to 4 risk ratio, but he talks about bad risk reward. And if you look at some of the examples, he does have a 1 to 4 risk ratio. And so, Uriel, I'm not sure if that answers your question. Yeah, day trading addict. I don't know what their indicator does, but I would never trust an indicator that just tells you to buy and sell. And so you see this choppiness right here. you know, you expect more choppiness, essentially. This is a trading range starting to develop. Early signs of a trading range starting to develop is you see choppiness happen, and then choppiness will most likely continue here. And so, unfortunately, this market has been just so terrible. I mean, those who took the long trap here, pretty, good job. This is a two-legged pullback, but man, it's so choppy. I'm not sure. Terrible signal bar as well. Even the trap, I wouldn't even trust here. But this two-legged pullback did trigger. You have a two-legged pullback here. If this goes down here and goes back up, then I'll be interested. If it fails, if this trap fails, I'll be interested actually. But I do need to see a double bottom of some sort. I would like to see a micro double bottom hit here, and then I'll be interested in this long here. Need a little more evidence that this wants to make a point. For instance, if you're in this trade right now, you're very disappointed, right? You don't want to see a bar like this right after you go long. So I want to see this trigger down here and the trigger back up. But let's see if the market gives it to us. I don't think the market's going to be so generous. Market's going to say sayonara. We only give points to those who are brave enough to take these entries. All right, updates on the automated strategies. Yeah, I just have not had enough time to really dig into my automated strategies. But on the trading community, people are still testing, and on two-legged pullback community. So for those who purchased the deluxe edition of the two-legged pullback, it comes with capabilities to do automated trading, and not only that, you get access to the two-legged pullback community. So there we talk about trading, we do things there, and also automated strategies. And so no big updates yet really on automated strategies. I'm trying to make an automated strategy using the trading range indicator, but at this point I've just been so busy. Oh man, okay. Do I want to come in with a retracement here? I can come with a retracement if it comes back down here, and it looks pretty good actually. Let me try to get with a retracement here. If we can get a retracement, should I come with this retracement? Thinking we're hit the top of this. All right, I'm gonna come with a retracement here if it hits me with a retracement. All right, I'm in this trade. I liked how this bar ended shaved like this. Currently 1-4 risk. I might just reverse it here and just take the loss here, but I'll keep it here for now. I see that we have a two-legged pullback here, and we have room to the top of this trading range. So I'm in this trade. A, B, C. That's a two-legged pullback. And now it's looking not good. This is so choppy. Maybe I shouldn't have entered. It's just so choppy. All right, I'm in this trade. Let's try to get one trade on this stream if possible. It's not looking good, folks. It's looking pretty bad. We have yesterday's last trading day's close acting as support. We also have this top of this trading range to act as support as well. Couple supports to have some help here. And so Mac would put his stop right here, one tick below here. That's where Mac would put his stop. Yeah, it's too choppy. I might have entered in too much congestion here. This could just trap me out here. Too toppy and too choppy. I was hoping the choppiness would help me out. Chop me back up here. We'll see. We had a double top and retest. The 10K chart maybe. All right, trap triggered. If this becomes a bullish bar, I might double up my position here. Touched my targets. Scalp me out. Come on. You can do it. You can do it. Give me a scalp. Thank you for becoming a member. Geneva versus Rome versus lies. Thank you for becoming a member. Scalp me out. Still waiting for the scalp. I moved my stop loss here just to get ready. Actually, I forget, I'm only trading one contract, so I don't have a runner to worry about. But hopefully this can scalp me out. I might skunk this if it doesn't scalp me out within this bar. But we'll see. Touch my target again, touch my target again. Touch my target again. I want to skunk this. All right, scalped out. Let's go, baby. All right, all right. Got a successful scalp. Let's go. Gotta throw them all out there. Gotta throw them all out there. So let me review this trade. This trade would actually have been better to go in than the one I went in. I saw this shaved bar, and I thought that was good enough for the bulls, and so I came in with a retracement. But the better setup actually is this higher low setup right here. That's the better setup above the 20 MA, and so. But the hard part is you have to get a retracement far enough so you get 1 point here, and so that's why you see this retracement come down all the way right here. It makes exactly 1 point from here to here with the scalp. So this is why they retrace back here, but let's go. Yeah, you like that. My thug life meme. Two-legged pullback off the 20 MA, also off yesterday's close, acting as support. First break of this trend, typically come back to retest the top here. And if it doesn't retest, then it just continue to go down. But if it does try to retest and then goes way back up, then it's just a continuation of trend, just becomes a bull flag. And so this is why we want to see these setups. But I would say this is probably the better setup. This is what I was waiting for over here, a failed second entry, essentially. I want to see that happen, but they got the double bottom right here. And so for those who went their trade here, had a higher risk, they'll put their risk here, but way more probability. So but hopefully you guys do realize that this was choppy. It was choppy, and that's why it kind of was a little scary to get in here. But hopefully you guys know my support here. I felt confident. Also support on this trading range down here. Give me support. Also enough room to the top of the trading range created by the trading range indicator. Do you see where this stops right here? Do you see exactly where this bar stops? That's because of the trading range indicator, right? Because the price action tells us that people are buying and selling right there. So you see how quickly this made a scalp, and guess where it bounced off? Right at the bottom of the trading range indicator. It bounced off right there, like perfectly, you know. Came down, scalped out, reversed. Okay, so this line right here is at yesterday's high. When you see movement like this, people might think this is a major trend reversal here. I don't know, maybe if I see another setup, I might take another trade, but yeah, I held it. I held for it this time. All right, I'm gonna go over some of the questions in chat until another setup happens that I like. What makes that a terrible signal bar? This signal bar, as you can see, has equal wicks above and below. So that means in this one bar, you have both bears and bulls equaled out. You don't necessarily want that. You want a bullish bar if you want to go long. Such as this. This is a bullish bar. Is this market volatile? Is this market volatile? I am from Indian market. It's not the I don't know what your definition of volatile is, but it's not the most volatile. It's a highly liquid market, but the ES has enough volatility to be able to scalp. So that's all I care about, because the average bar size is enough to scalp. How many scalps do I take in a day? Well, I'm actually just scalping really with these live sessions, and then I kind of end it. I have the charts up, but only if I see a really good setup, I'll take it. But right now, I started with 5K, and right now I'm at 5, you know, maybe 5,100. So took 2 trades so far since Monday. You can see my account amount, bottom left of your screen. Cheyenne Tyrell, Mac has both good risk reward and high percentage. I don't know, you know, he doesn't really show his losing trades, so you don't know how many he loses. I know for sure he does lose. He has to lose, you know, even the best lose. And so I don't know what his percentage is, but I'm assuming he's, you know, profitable. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt, but he doesn't really show his losing trades. And so I don't know how profitable. Let's just say that. I don't know how profitable he is. But I'm not trying to throw shade on Mac. I like Mac, so I just don't know. That's all I'm saying. All right, so we got a lower high setup, and this is why it's zooming down now. This is a major trend reversal. Just played out itself. Made exactly 1 tick. Yeah, this is just a trading range at the moment. It's very hard to trade this. All right, I'm going to answer these questions, and I'm going to end this stream. So let's go through the rest of these questions. For someone that doesn't scale in, how would you compare a 4-point stop loss to 1 tick below signal bar stop loss? So Rory Tate asked this, and yeah, I would say I like the 1 to 4, obviously, but to me that's more of the the max risk I'll take. Sometimes I do move my stop loss to 1 tick below the signal bar. If I really feel like I made a mistake or something, or if I just really want to, tighten my stop loss so I can go into another trade without too much damage. It just really depends on the context at the moment. So I do both actually, but my max stop loss is 4 points typically. Yep, I would say do not listen to anything I say. Trade at your own risk. You know, this is not advice. None of this advice. This is just entertainment. People want me to skunk it. Yep. Branding cases. I don't like the channels that have all videos of only I was 4-0 today. I can't learn from that. It's true. So you're gonna see me lose a couple here for sure. Especially that I'm not really trading that much off this live stream. So typically I would make a couple winners throughout the day. You made a video, Joel Klee asks, you made a video on trading the MES with ES overlay. After trying this yourself, would you recommend doing this, or is it better trade the ES chart? Um, After doing that, I would say, yeah, I do recommend the overlay, because I traded the overlay, but I will say there are some things that you should be wary of. With an overlay, MES and ES don't move exactly the same. They move very similarly, but not exactly the same. And so there are moments where the MES would actually move and fill me at certain targets, especially if you're 1 tick above, a previous candle's high. Sometimes I'll get filled, and on the ES that price action never happened because on the MES chart it did happen, but because of arbitrage, they typically equal out, and it comes back to the ES price action. But sometimes MES does stray from the ES price action, so you do have what I call ghost fills. It'll fill on the MES but not on the ES, essentially. Trading range indicator still showing the trading range of the day. When do you add another contract? Maybe I'll add another contract when I get to 10,000. We'll see. Yeah, it's 0.25. So where we calculated the trading trader's equation, it's about 0.25, and so. All right, so that's it for the questions, I believe. What's my percent goal per week? I don't have a percent goal per week in this series. So the difference between this series and the 500-day series is that I'm more focused on trading with you guys. So this is why I call it a journey. It's not a challenge. And I'll just end with this, explaining a little bit what I'm doing here, and you guys can leave or do whatever you want. But yeah, the reason why I chose to do a journey rather than a challenge, if you do a challenge, let's say I'm going to double my count, or I'm going to go from $1 to $10,000, $100 to $10,000 account, a challenge. To be honest, you cannot learn good trading principles that way. If you're able to do that, if you are going to do that, typically those people, what they do is they take wildly risky trades and they get lucky. You have to get lucky if you want to make money that way. And probably they're very selective in whatever trades they show. And so these accounts, make, $100 to $10,000, videos. They're not realistic and they're not good. They do not teach you good trading principles. this is why I want to do a journey, because I'm thinking about community. I'm thinking about what helps the community the most. A challenge like that does not help the community. A journey, I believe, will help the community. And so you'll see me trading with a 5K account. I'll call this still a small account for one ES contract, but I would trade a 5K account with one ES contract, and I'll start to increase my contract size as my capital grows. But this way, hopefully, you can see some realistic expectations. From 9:30 to 10:44, we took one scalp. Of course, if I had a bigger account and if I were trading more contracts, that one scalp could be $1,000. But that's not the point right now. The point is not to make this account super huge, even though it could potentially do that, and hopefully it'll do that. But the more important thing is actually right now the community and being here with you guys. And so, hope that helps. And yep, and yeah, those who enjoy the stream, support the channel, just hit that like button. If you want to know more information about these indicators, trading range indicator, also two-legged pullback indicator, check out the official website at the bottom right of your screen at www.twologgedpullback.com. And support this channel by hitting that like button, subscribing. Also, if you want to know when I'm streaming, I'm going to try to stream a little more regularly on the market open. And so typically that's where the most volatility is. And so, yep, hit that notification button if you want to know exactly when I'm about to stream. And hopefully, you guys can join me for the next time. And thank you for those who decide to become members. It helps this channel a lot. Helps me feel more motivated to do this kind of content. And yeah, hopefully, this has been helpful for you guys. And as always, happy trading and God bless. Thanks, guys. Thanks, everyone. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, guys.